In this video, we will learn how to calculate price elasticity of demand, cross price elasticity of demand, and income elasticity of demand from the given demand function. The question is, given the demand function, that is quantity demanded of good X is equal to 200 minus 5 times the price of good X minus 2 times the price of good Y plus 0.2 times the income. Where price of good X is 10, price of good Y is 12, and income is 1000. We have to calculate price elasticity of demand, cross price elasticity of demand, and income elasticity of demand. Okay, so let us first see, let's write what is our total quantity. Okay, so let's quantity demanded, and let me write it here. Quantity demanded, that is qx, will be equal to, we have 200 here, okay, minus 5 times the price of good X is being given as 10, so let's write it here 10, minus 2 times the price of good Y is 12, and we will write here 12. Okay, then we have plus 0.2, so 0.2 times the income is being given as 1000. We will see the quantity demanded first. So quantity demanded is equal to, this is 200 minus 50 minus 24 plus 0.2 of 1000 is 200, and it will come out to be quantity q will be equal to, let's write it q simply, it will come out to be 326. Okay, so quantity demanded is 326 given the values of the variables. Now first thing is, we need to calculate the price elasticity of demand. Okay, let us denote the price elasticity of demand by E subscript P. Okay, this denotes the price elasticity of demand. And what is price elasticity of demand? Simply the change in, or let's write here partial derivative, because we have more than one variable. So the change in quantity demanded of good X with respect to the change in price of good X times price of X upon quantity demanded of good X. This is the formula for price elasticity of demand. This simply tells us the percentage change in quantity demanded of good X with respect to, or divided by the percentage change in the price of good X. Okay, what we call the own price elasticity of demand. That means first we need to calculate this very derivative. That means partial derivative of this demand function with respect to px will be equal to, if we take the partial derivative of this function with respect to px, you can see the derivative of constant is 0. Here the derivative of px will be 1, so we will be left with minus 5 first. Okay, derivative of this term will be 0, because we are taking the partial derivative with respect to x, so it will be assumed here constant, and symmetrically this will be also assumed to be constant, so the derivative of all other terms will be 0 here. Okay, that means price elasticity of demand, okay, price elasticity of demand will be equal to dq upon dpx. We calculated it as minus 5 times, what is price of good X? It is 10, upon quantity of good X, we calculated it as 326. When you solve this out, you will get it as minus 0.15. Okay, now remember, here we have negative price elasticity of demand. It shows us here there is negative relationship between price of good X and quantity demanded of good X. Also you can see here, since elasticity of demand is less than 1, that means it is, demand is inelastic. Okay, demand is inelastic. Okay, and if you want to interpret it, simple thing, it simply tells us if price of good X increases by 1%, then quantity demanded of good X will decrease by 0.15%. Okay, this was the first part. Now second part is we have to calculate a cross price elasticity of demand. Okay, cross price elasticity of demand, what exactly does they tell us? Okay, let's write it here. First, cross price elasticity of demand means a percentage change in quantity demanded for a good, here it is X, uh, to to percentage change in price of another good. And what is our another good here? The price of another good, that is Py. Okay, now cross price of elasticity of demand, let's denote it by E subscript C. It will be equal to simply the change in quantity demanded of good X with respect to the change in the price of good Y times price of good Y upon quantity of X. Okay, in this case what we need to do here, rather we need to find out this partial derivative dqx upon del q del py, means we need to take the partial derivative of this demand function with respect to py this time. Okay, so we have only one term where we have py, the derivative of all other terms will be constant because we are taking the partial derivative with respect to good y. Derivative of py will be 1, so we will be left with -2. That means our cross price elasticity of demand will be equal to, so this derivative came out to be -2. Price of good y is being given us as 12, and quantity demanded, which we calculated qx, it came out to be 326. When you solve this, it will come out to be cross price elasticity of demand will come out to be, I have calculated it, it came out to be, I guess, minus 0.07. Okay, now how do we interpret it and what exactly is meant by this? We got here negative sign. Okay, cross price elasticity of demand came out to be negative. That means x and y are the complements. Why? Because we got the negative sign here, and if I can draw the graph here, that will really help to understand this better. Let us say we have quantity of good x on this side, or good x here, or let us write simply the good x here, no quantity. This is good x, this is the price of good y. Okay, so it will look like this. That means cross price elasticity of demand came out to be negative, which means the goods are complements. That by complements what we mean, simple thing, let us say if price of good y was 10, let us say quantity demanded of uh, good x was, let us say it is also 10. When price of good y increases, let us say to 11, quantity demanded of good x will, let us say, decrease by 8. Okay, so we have x and y will be the complements because we got here negative sign that denotes if price of good y increases, quantity demanded of good x will decrease. There is negative relationship between and that is being corroborated by this negative sign, that there is negative relationship between the price of good y and quantity demanded of good x. Okay, and if we want to interpret it, it is simply, it says as, if price of good y increases by 1%, quantity demanded of good x will decrease by 0.07%. Okay, this was about the cross price elasticity. Several three part choice, that is third part is we need to calculate the income elasticity of demand. Okay, so third part is to calculate so third part is to calculate the income elasticity of demand. Okay, and by income elasticity of demand what we mean, and let me write it here. Okay, by income elasticity of demand we mean percentage change in quantity demanded for a good, in this case it is x, to percentage change in income, holding other things constant, that is satisfiable. So income elasticity of demand, let's denote it by E subscript m. It will be equal to the partial derivative of demand function with respect to income times income upon quantity of good x. Okay, and here what we need to calculate, first we need to find out this very derivative, that is del qx upon del m. Okay, so taking the partial derivative of this function with respect to m, since we have only m in the last term, the derivative of all other terms will be 0, so we will get here 0.2. Okay, then our elasticity, what we call the income elasticity of demand, will be equal to dqx upon dm, came out to be 0.2. Income is being given us here 1000, and q we calculated earlier, that comes out to be 326. Solving this we will get 0.61. Okay, now what exactly is meant by this income elasticity of demand, and what can we infer here? First thing is, since income elasticity of demand is equal to 0.61, which is greater than 0, okay, it denotes that good x is a normal good. Okay, when income elasticity of demand is greater than 0, we say the good is normal. One more thing we can see here, that income elasticity of demand here, income elasticity of demand is obviously greater than 0 but less than 1. If the income elasticity of demand is greater than 0 and less than 1, then we say it is income inelastic. That means the good is a necessity. Let's try to draw the graph here to make sense. Let us say we have good x on this side and income here. Okay, we will have this kind of relationship. Okay, first thing is we got income elasticity greater than 0. That means good is normal. That means when income increases, quantity demand of good also increases. Okay, let us say when income was 1000, quantity demanded was 30. Okay, when income increases to, let us say, 1100, I guess I have not made the right graph here. Let me rub this out. Since it is inelastic, the graph will not look like this. It will be something like this. Let us say x. Here we have income. It will look like this. This denotes the elastic, so it will look like this. Okay, that means, let us say when income was 1000, quantity demanded was, let us say, 10. When income reaches to, let us say, 2000, and corresponding to this, let us say, quantity demand of good x only increases to 12. Okay, so change in income, okay, is more than, or percentage change in income is more than the percentage change in quantity of good x. Okay, so in this case we say, okay, when, or let me write it here, when income elasticity is greater than 0, it implies x is normal good. X is normal good. Normal good. Okay, that means there is positive relationship between the income and the quantity demanded. That is being corroborated by this line. And when the income elasticity is, obviously when it is greater than 0 but less than 1, we say it is it is income inelastic. Income inelastic means the good is a necessity good. Necessity. Okay, that means if income increases more, quantity demanded will increase, less compared to the income. Okay, I hope I make myself clear in this video. Thank you.